Welcome back. We are in Sweden, finally made it to Europe.
From the other side of the world.
Oh my gosh, what a journey. All the way from Perth, Australia to Paris at first. It was like a 22-hour flight via Doha with Qatar Airways. So yeah, the plane ride went pretty successfully with Oakley sleeping most of the way. We recovered from the jet lag at my parents in Paris, which was good for like 10 days. That was awesome.
Fattened up on amazing food. And then we got a flight from Paris to Copenhagen yesterday, and then we took a little shuttle across underneath the water and then up over a bridge across to Malmo, where we are now.
So yeah, we are on the way to see the Volvo finally, like after what, almost 3 months now that we purchased it. We're gonna see it in the flesh. All
so
this hard
excited.
work is paying off now. So yeah, we'll take you along. It's very much like a vlog that we're gonna take you along wherever we see, whatever we find.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit disjointed and all over the show.
It's a huge change, but we're so pumped.
That's the adventure. Gosh, the climate and the terrain couldn't be any more opposite from Australia. It is grim, but it's cool because it's so different for us right now. Yeah, all of the deciduous trees just all obviously barren because it's dead winter. There's like this low-hanging fog because it's been so cold. And yeah, it's cool though. It's really cool. The driving so far is awesome. Like everything's running like clockwork, which is amazing. Not much traffic at all so far from what we've seen. I reckon that, yeah, the driving's gonna be good. We picked up an awesome rental car. And yeah, all right, let's do it. First we're gonna pick up some alcohol as a present for Bjorn. He had penciled in his calendar beers and talking TGB with Chris for the day. So that's pretty good for a Friday.
It's the plan for the Friday.
Cannot wait. What's going on, Ange?
These are all our new vehicles.
All our TGBs?
Drones. Oh my gosh, all for sale.
These are TGB 11s. So cool.
The tiny one. The baby.
Yeah. The little brother of our one. Paintball farm.
We're about to go and see our one.
Yes.
Somewhere around here.
Can we move this? Should we bring it out?
This is it. Yeah, man. Sure. Whatever you want to do. Wow. It still can drive a short distance. Yeah, cool.
I'll be running it from the front to the back.
Starting up and reversing it.
Okay.
So you know. Wow. Finally seeing it, Ange. The new house. Sounds cool.
Look at that lineup.
Sounds quite cool at the moment, right? Yeah.
Normally they look like this.
Cool. She's tight. No, it fits pretty well.
Oh, the full floor.
Wow. This is our new workshop. Wow.
Nice and covered.
And this is the legend that made it work?
Yeah.
Alright, day 2, we're back at the workshop.
We're back, so it's Saturday. Bjorn has given us kind of the keys to the city for the workshop and stuff already, so we can enter whenever we need to, come back and forth. So Oakley is asleep in our little rental car, so we've come to kind of just try and organise as much as we can. I think I bought a caravan for us last night, and we're going to park that out the front of the workshop basically, which is kind of weird as that's going to be being in a caravan. It's going to mean that I'm so close to the work site, and it means I'll just be able to get stuff done really quickly rather than we got a really nice offer for only, was it €600 a month? It was like 20k away, which is okay, but it would just be so much back and forward driving. So if we can be here, it's just going to make things so much easier. It means Oakley can sleep in the caravan when he needs his naps, and Ange and I can be in here filming and doing work.
But most importantly, right now.
So here is the big girl. It's very dirty because obviously it was that kind of barn find one that's been stored outside. So it needs a really good wash, and then it's going to give me a bit more of an idea of the work that needs to be done. I've found a tiny bit of rust on one of the, looks like one of the chassis cross members. It doesn't look like an important spot, but that's not ideal. I'll see if I need to fix it. Apart from that, the body is really straight and really clean. There's only a few places that will need some work. So from what I can tell, so I might have taken a branch up here, but I can hammer that back in. The front grille is a bit beyond repair, so I'll replace the grille and hopefully find a Volvo insignia that should go there. If you come around here, just looking at the outside of it, it's clean. So this is obviously the alu zinc one, if I haven't said already. So we've got aluminium panels on a zinc coated steel frame. So that's steel, that's alu. Quite cool. And then on the back, all looks pretty fine. We're missing the jerry can, so I'll get a replacement jerry can.
We should probably film a proper walk around. We'll try tomorrow as a dedicated video so that we show you very much the inside, talk a bit more about the spec maybe of the vehicle so that you get to know a bit more. I mean, we're learning. So bear with us.
The truck, so the brakes are all seized, but under power it can be moved. Obviously not a long distance because it would probably heat the portal axles up too much and cook them. So couldn't go on a long drive with that, so we can't take it for a spin and go off-roading or anything like that.
That's going to be the first job, is that right?
So first job's the brakes, but I've also purchased from Malaysia seals from... That sounds bad, but basically a whole bunch of TGBs ended up in Malaysia and they use them for like hardcore competition rigs, all the axles. So they've made their own seal kits for a really good price and are known to be like indestructible, new CB boots and things like that. So I would love to do them at the same time. Otherwise I'm pulling the brakes apart, replacing and fixing the brakes, and then putting it back together, getting the truck a kind of a registration, like a mechanical inspection, and then I have to do the entire thing again to get to the portals. I'd rather do it in one hit, but Bjorn is saying time is of the essence for getting it inspected and then road registered, because it gets busy and sometimes you have to make appointments that'll take like a month in summer to get to your appointment. And also I can't do any work on the truck until it is road registered, because otherwise everything would need to be re-inspected again. I need to make the most of having that 50-year non-inspection process. So when it's inspected, that'll be the last one this girl ever goes through. So,
because yes, this is a girl. We've had many male vehicle in the family. We will reveal the name.
This is Ange's truck, and it is a girl.
This is my girl.
This is Ange's daughter, but somehow much older than Ange. Yeah, but I mean, it looks pretty good. It needs a lot of
TLC.
Degrease, at least a shite ton of TLC, probably more than the Mog did, funnily enough. It's a smaller vehicle, as you can see, but there's a hell of a lot of work here. I guess it hasn't
been used for so long compared to the Mog. It was still being used when we bought it. So.
But yeah, I'll take you for a full tour tomorrow. Today I might try and learn a bit about it, because it's a huge mystery to me. Like there's a lot going on here that I don't even know how to like turn on the diff flaps or forward. Like it's all new. I haven't even had a look. So that's what we'll do now, and just see what needs to be replaced. And I'm trying to get in my head how I'm even going to begin this, because I will be doing an engine swap and a transmission swap in this, and that's going to add a whole nother thing to it. So yeah, let's see how we go. Yeah. Special package. Yeah, maybe.
and the last of the package of the day. That's pretty handy to have a pallet mover because
Yeah, well, we've been in ours, but
yeah, as you can see, there's a big one at the bottom. Can you guess what it is?
yeah.
Actually, yeah, let's do that.
So try and guess the motor and transmission combination that I'm gonna put in the Volvo.
Is that a clue if you see the size?
If you're familiar in the Volvo community, you'll be able to guess it for sure. Yeah, I won't properly reveal it yet because I'm really excited to show you what's going on, but that's like a whole nother build because I'm gonna rebuild the trans, I'm gonna rebuild this engine as well, give that a go. So at the moment I'm just trying to order a million things online to try and make the process as smooth as possible.
Gosh, that's a lot of parcel already.
Yeah, we'll start opening some packages today and go from there. And Bjorn has donated me for the build a engine mount. He's got another one as well that we can slap the Volvo one on. So yeah, really so good. Like we're so lucky. Like,
it's got everything, and that workshop is just spotless.
It's amazing. I can't wait to get it dirty.
Not too dirty.
Beep.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. And then I've learned to just go.
Another skill.
First time using a pallet truck. But I do have my trucker's license, so technically I'm allowed to.
You're allowed?
Yeah.
And look at the view we've got. I mean...
I feel like we're in a war zone.
A war zone or a Volvo museum? And we've got a rental car that's clashing a little bit. But...
It is.
All right, where to begin?
Get a knife out, I'm going to start slashing some boxes open.
All right. Got a crawling baby in there.
Brake servos. It's like Christmas. Swedish Christmas, I hope.
Christmas! Yeah, Christmas! When it starts, you can have cardboards.
Exactly.
Now we're talking.
Thank you, Ryobi. Awesome.
Alright, so I'm back at the Airbnb while Chris is doing some work on the Volvo, and I would like to thank today's sponsor for this video, Surfshark VPN. So a huge thank you to Surfshark VPN for keeping us safe all the way from Australia to Sweden. We've been using Surfshark VPN actually since 2021. If you remember, we got our YouTube channel hacked. We are con-based live.
Article.
Since then, we haven't had any issue. Recently, we've been using Surfshark VPN a lot more in public locations, like airports, train station, malls. So using Surfshark VPN kept us safe and private. So everything we do online is covered up. So it's like a mask. All the information is encrypted and no one can access it. So that's really handy, especially if you're traveling a lot like us. We've also been using Surfshark VPN to change virtually our location. So while we were in Australia, we could access Swedish servers, meaning we could access Swedish page results and purchase a lot of parts for the build. So it made the whole experience a lot easier, and as well we could access some better deals this way. And another thing that we really like about Surfshark VPN is it works on unlimited devices, meaning I can have it on my computer as an extension on Google Chrome, on my phone, Chris as well. So it's all under one subscription. You can all share like that. You can have it on your TV, so that's really handy. So if you want to try Surfshark VPN yourself, they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you get as well an extra deal if you add the code TheOutfit for free extra month for free. Alright, back to the workshop.
Let me just give you an actual tour of the place. These units here at the back of the main Euromaster tyre and mechanical workshop, and Bjorn is going to be renting these out to customers here. But these two are for tire storage. They're brand new, just being built. There's actually tilers and plumbers working on these ones because they're going to have showers and like a toilet and a sink in these other ones here, so that they're kind of like a standalone unit that he can rent out to businesses. So, but these two, again, yep, for tire storage. And he has very generously basically let me turn this into a mechanical workshop. I don't know exactly how many feet. It must be around about 100 square feet, this place. Huge ceiling, like crazy amount of space. And then we've also got upstairs here, which I think there's going to be some work being done, but let me take you up. So still pretty bare bones, but that is going to be an awesome little area for me to either do some really like fine mechanical work in here, like maybe rebuilding the trans or something, or even just having Ange up here with a work desk so that she can do some editing, and a play area for Oakley. So we are going to get like a play pen for him. We'll buy one of those hopefully this week, set him up there, but there's still going to be a little bit of work in here first to get done. But yeah, I'll show you like what we brought over from Australia. So we had about 70 kilos of luggage that we brought over, and the main one was I brought over my Yorktown, my Atlas tool roll with all of my like Barco socket set and spanners and stuff. So that's really good. That's like so handy to have that with me. It just means I'm going to bring it back with me when we go back to Oz for Bowser, but I don't want to be without tools. I bought a ton of work clothes over. Things that we can't really replace, I don't really want to replace, so things like GME radios we brought on over, like the walkie-talkies. I've bought a ear tire gauge, things like that. As you can see, I've been unpacking a lot of stuff, lots of Ryobi gear. I'll talk about that at a later date. All of this stuff will go. I'll give Bjorn a bit of a hand to remove this during the week when he's back in. This is a 3-ton lift, so we're not sure if that's going to work for the Volvo or not. It might at the early stages of the build, but after that it's probably going to be a little bit too light. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Got myself a work light and another desk, and Bjorn has put this in here, which has got a bunch of tools. So very, very lucky, but there's enough room in here to work on the Volvo. The plan is for me to basically remove the body. So the really cool thing about this truck is it's basically a full convertible. So these pop off so that you've only got the bottom doors left. The windscreen comes up. A lot of this will unbolt even from here, apparently, from the inside, so that you can pull the whole windscreen cab area off. The cab only actually goes to here, and then you've got a seam that joins it all the way down. So when you see the pickup variants and the ambulance variants, they're basically the exact same vehicle, just with a different rear to them. So they're all bolted together, and then there's like a sealant that gets used. And to be honest, like that sealant's from the 70s, so I'm better off pulling it apart anyway and redoing the sealant when I put it back together. So that'll leave me with a small carcass here, which I'll be able to lift up maybe with one of Bjorn's forklifts, and we'll be able to get that out of the way. The huge benefit of that is that gives me access to the engine and trans to be able to be pulled straight out, and so that we can put the other one in. Because I'm going to need to have engine mounts fabricated for that. Everything's completely custom, so the more access I can get to it, the better. And it also means that it leaves the cab for me to get underneath with paint, things like that. So yeah, I think that's the way to go. The body is similar. The doors come up. These doors, or these panels, come out completely. The roof is separate, like the whole thing is like a big jigsaw puzzle. The back is the same, and you can see the ceiling joins all the way along. So yeah, I'm just going to do the whole thing in pieces. I mean, I'm repainting it, we're fully gutting it anyway, I may as well do a really thorough job. Paint is here. I'm not going to say what paint we're going to use yet. Obviously underneath is going to be black, but I've chosen a really, really unique color. Yeah, hopefully you guys will like it. You may have never seen this color before, which is cool. It does not normally get used on vehicles. So it could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. But there's the tour of the workshop. A few things to get in is Bjorn's got a big Coca-Cola fridge which we can use for beers, things like that. That sounds dangerous, but he wants to put that in here. He's got another engine hoist rack, and he's apparently also got a transmission stand as well. I just brought the 2 tables in, so we've got a desk over there, table here with chairs, and yeah, it's all steaming along. They're really good bifold doors, so the doors open up completely so we can get the Volvo in and out. I can leave that shut, and I think that's where I'm going to run the diesel heater exhaust straight out of there so we can just access there. Yeah, really, really cool. It looks like we're going to be basically living outside next to the TGBs in a caravan, and I can just work on this just non-stop, just turn this thing into an absolute perler. Good morning. Okay, another day in the workshop. The weather is still really miserable. Now it's kind of raining, so Ange is in the kind of the main office keeping Oakley warm while he has a little nap on her. I'm going to try and start the Volvo for the first time myself today. See if I can reverse it out here and get a good look at it outside, and if the rain stops I'll do a walk around video for the next video that'll go up. This is fun. Hey buddy. Oakley finds it fun. Now I'm using oven and grill cleaner because it was the only thing in English at the local like automotive store. So I'm just spraying down some oily patches. I'm going to hit the entire truck with a high pressure sprayer, so hopefully that'll make it shiny and clean and easy to do the brakes on.
We're just here for moral support.
Yeah! Hey! Hey! You're gonna get a shot of Oakley's face. Hey! Yeah! Ah.
Alright, successful mission for Ange to get the starter battery. What a butt.
Alright, did you get it?
Yay!
Nice. How's this thing looking?
Much better. Gosh, it
Man,
was
the amount of grease.
dirty, dirty, dirty indeed.
It's quite cool because Bjorn's got a trap, so any like chemicals that go in there get trapped and dealt with, so I can kind of spray this as liberally as I want to.
So it was my first experience driving in a city, which went successfully.
Nice.
We both, Chris and I, are very surprised how quiet Malmo is in comparison to Perth, I guess, and other cities that we've driven in Australia. We'll have to compare the population just to get an idea, but yeah, it's so quiet everywhere. And one thing that I really like on the Swedish roads, or at least in Malmo, is just before the line turns green, you get an orange light, so at least you are ready. I feel like that stops that hesitation that a lot of drivers have at the light, and I get the traffic to move a lot faster. So yeah, what's the plan now? Just...
The plan is to wash this clean out of my eyes.
Damn.
Probably should have
Glasses.
safety goggles on. Yeah. You would have thought I would have learnt my lesson from Bowser, but nope.
Who's there? Who's there? It's Oakley boy. Who needs a baby playpen when you've got a giant cardboard box? Huh? That's so much better. Do you like your new playpen? You can even access the tools. Not very baby friendly.
Fuel for the beast.
Yeah, she's solid rough the past days.
Just backfiring and stuff yesterday. Hopefully it's just out of fuel. So this is unleaded fuel, of course, but back in the 70s it was all leaded fuel, so I need to put an additive in. I used to do that for my first car, which is a 280S 1976 Mercedes back in New Zealand. So I'm used to putting that additive in, but man, it's been a while since I've had to do that. Probably should have put that in first.
She doesn't mind, or does she?
She gives 0. Alright, first proper day in the workshop is about to begin, even though it's just the afternoon because it's Angie's birthday. We went and had a really nice brunch, but it's time for me to get some work done. They've gone off to the mall just to chill out for a little bit. I am trying to heat this place up because it is so cold in here. It must be 1 or 2 degrees. I don't know if you can tell, you can really see your breath. So I need to somehow warm this place up, not only for Oakley, but also just for my hands, because I'm not really used to it. They're getting a bit sore already, just dealing with little fiddly bits. I know I'm gonna smash my knuckles and be crying. So I've got a diesel heater cranking at the moment. So you may remember from the Unimog build, we have a 5 kilowatt heater from Max Feeding Rods. This is their new diesel heater unit. And it's really cool. So it's the same sort of style diesel heater, but it's in one unit which has the fuel pump in it, as well as like a 4 or 5 kilo sort of jerry can inside. So we filled it up with diesel the other day, and then I just crudely plugged it into our new Delcor battery, which we just bought. So it has 110 amp hour, 950 cold cranking amp battery. Because, little hint, the motor that we're going to do the swap on can only be 12 volt. Getting it to be 24 volt is really, really, really difficult. So unfortunately I'm going to have to convert the Volvo to 12. I would have preferred to keep it 24 volt, just to keep that amperage down through the wiring, and it would have been nice for winches, but it's going to be 12 volt. Yesterday actually Ange picked that up, of course, because the 2 batteries in the Volvo at the moment are actually so low in juice that they couldn't actually run the diesel heater. They were only cranking out like 8 volts. So new battery is working wonders, and I have basically plumbed the exhaust straight to outside. So there's a little rubber lip underneath these bifold doors, which I've been able to just plug that through, and then I've just got it on some styrofoam. But that is cranking out some really nice warm dry heat, so that's going to start making us feel a lot better. So my job today is I'm going to pull this wheel off here. No reason in particular, I just don't want to start with the front because that's a bit more complicated, because obviously the steering wheels. I'm going to pull this off. Bought a Ryobi impact driver today from a very cool store called Bauhaus, which is like the Swedish, no sorry, that's the German version of Bunnings, but it's here in Sweden. That's a wicked store, actually better than Bunnings, but don't tell Bunnings that. And I'm going to start cranking away at it. Basically the plan is to pull the hub off. The brakes have seized on all the wheels, the brakes have seized. So no matter what, the brakes need to be redone, and I do have the parts here that I've ordered from the UK. So no matter what, these drum brakes have to be redone completely, as well as the cylinders. But I'm going to try and pull the portal apart and actually see what's involved in replacing those seals, because I would like to do all 6 portal seals while I'm at it. But time is of the essence because we really need to get this thing registered and mechanically inspected. The quicker I can get these brakes working, the quicker Bjorn and I can get it there, and then get it on the road, get it all mechanically sound, and then I can start pulling the thing apart. Until then, we can't do that. So I'm going to have a crack at that one now, and I expect this will take me days to figure out what to do, what pullers I need, whether it's even doable. I have all the seals here from Malaysia, but the only thing left to do is give it a crack. I know some of you will be thinking it was about time Chris got a rattle gun. I'm very excited about this. This can pump out something like 900 Newton meters, so it's a beast. Let's just figure out how to put this on first. Well, I'll be. How is that? The wrong size. Oh, that's painful. It's so close, it must be metric versus imperial. Okay. I'm an idiot. It does work. I just wasn't lining up quite well enough. And she's real tight at the moment. I might be my cold hands. Oh yes. This is going to make life so much easier. Cool thing about working on this truck is if this jack goes or I do something wrong, it's still got tyres on the ground, so it's not going to fall over on me. So that gives me a lot of peace of mind when I'm only working on one hub at a time, at least in the back. So I cleaned this yesterday, but I bet it's still going to be filthy because there was only so much I could get to. Gosh, that is light. I'm used to like my 180, 190 kilo wheel and tyre combo. Gross. So that's the hub oil. No big bits of metal. I would have expected a lot more than that. Okay. Time will tell. Are these portals toast? We shall see. God, I don't know, that's going to be expensive. Okay, so I've disconnected the brake line. That's what you can see dripping there. I don't want to use any of that brake fluid because God knows how old it is. I've removed a bunch of 18mm nuts from the hub. I've removed a breather hose, and now I think I'm ready. Wow. All right. Okay. So there is one of the portal gears, the hub gears, and that meshes with this one here. Now I haven't opened one of these before, of course, but what I can see is that there. That's scary looking. But these teeth look fine. Maybe it's meant to look like this. I will try and find out. Or it's been a catastrophic failure in the past and it's been repaired at some point. Who knows? Anyway, time to work out what to do next. I'll probably have to get this big nut off and wedge this somehow. Welcome back to the shop. This video is all over the show, as you know, but there is just so much going on behind the scenes, so I'm getting very little time to work on the truck without heaps of interruptions and stuff like that. So I've just already this morning done 2 trips to Biltema, which is that really cool automotive store. Now, I have borrowed from the workshop this gear puller, and I'm starting to pull this main gear off. Helps to have the right tools. I am putting so much force into this thing to get it off. I've inspected the housing. Something weird has definitely gone on there. My thoughts are, until I open up the other one, I won't know for sure to see if it's exactly the same. But my thoughts are, at some point, the big nut that was on here that I pulled off, this planetary gear has loosened and started to chew the inside of this. I would say the noise would have been horrendous. So they've taken it into the workshop, probably the military, and replaced everything. Of course, not the actual housing, because there's nothing actually really wrong with it apart from those marks. If it was machined, I don't think you would see that metal flake there. That looks like it's been chewed. Yeah, pretty crazy that the carrier was able to handle that. Anyway, I'm gonna have a crack at this gear. Hopefully I can get it off now, and then I'm gonna have a better idea of kind of how to use, I'll need to use a bearing press and just see if I can make this work. Of course, going from here on out, it's gonna be so much faster once I've got some sort of process going on. All right, hopefully this is... This is my trusty Adventure Kings budget socket extension, but it works. I wouldn't have been doing this with a little dinky puller, that's for sure. A bit awkward, but you know. How about we do this? Okay, look at this. I've pulled the drum brakes out, got access to the seals now, filled with grease. There's the drum. It's looking a bit gnarly. They were completely seized on here. And here's the spindle, or yeah, I guess we'll call that a spindle for now, right? So, I'm not documenting it yet because I'm just making it up as I go. I'm gonna start trying to press some seals out, and then I can show you properly on another wheel, otherwise I'm just gonna be all over the show and scratch my head for half the time. So it probably took me easily 2 hours just to get to that point, just trying to figure out how things work. I'll know for next time, 100%, remove the drum cover while it's still on the truck, because that was such a mission doing it on the floor. I used a hammer, a cold chisel, some punches, cut myself up heaps. Like, it was just silly doing it that way. So at least I know for next time to pull it off first before I start attacking the rest of the portal assembly. So I've now procured a 5-ton press. So that is going to help a huge amount. Hopefully I've got enough fittings in here. Time will tell.
So this morning Chris went to the workshop, continuing to pull the hubs apart as you would have seen. And now we're on the way an hour northeast, I think, of Malmo. We're on our way to pick up our home on wheels.
Our new home on wheels.
So there's been a little bit of a change of plans, I guess. We were supposed to buy a caravan to live at a workshop, but most of the caravan we actually found out they don't have a shower. So that's quite a big deal for us. We do want the opportunity to have a shower on a daily basis. So yeah, that was quite a massive red flag for us. So we found about plan B, which is buying a motorhome, which we thought initially about a motorhome before that, but they're just much more expensive than a caravan. But luckily Bjorn and Chris found one on the local Gumtree, which is called Blocket. Which is 70,000 SEK.
It was 77.
Oh,
we got it down to 70.
Which was just listed. So basically we kind of like almost bought it sight unseen, and we're going now to pick it up. Hopefully
and to pay the cash.
Pay the cash, and hopefully all goes well. But yeah, first time we're driving out of Malmo, and the landscape has changed. We've got trees and there's snow. Like it's
really pretty. It's really pretty. It's cold, but it's pretty.
Yeah, it's a nice day today. There's a bit of sunshine, so that's good. So you may not do too much filming in presence of the owner, but yeah, we'll show you around a little sneak peek of the motorhome, and maybe we'll do a little tour on the next video.
Basil is so upset. We knew what we've swapped it for.
Yeah, my gosh, we're going from like the biggest beast of a truck in Australia to a 1989 Fiat motorhome.
Hopefully we can make it back to the workshop.
Alright, fingers crossed. Are you nervous?
I am really nervous, actually.
So Oakley's napping at the back, so I'm gonna stay in the car just to make sure he doesn't wake up and we're over there. Oh my gosh, what a journey to get a new vehicle. Chris is good at getting things done. We haven't like asked any question about the vehicle or anything, but he was like, I make it work. Love it. Road trip! Look at that!
Little update in the workshop this morning. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really struggling on this hub. So using the press, I just can't seem to get a size with this or anything that works in removing these two seals. Now in the workshop manuals for the Volvo, they use specialist tools where they can screw them in and out by hand. I don't have anything like that. So the other thing that I'm a bit concerned about is the seals that I got from Asli 4x4 in Malaysia look very different than the ones I'm trying to pull out of here. So I don't know where I could have gone wrong or whether I've gone wrong on that, but yeah, it's really different. So a little bit confused and concerned about that. Awesomely, Bjorn knows a bloke not too far from here who fixes these up with 2 ex-military mechanics and sends them all around the world. So basically he's busy this week, but Bjorn said we'll try and find a time with him next week for us to go over there and get one of the blokes to kind of show the tools that he used. I might even be able to borrow them for a week or so, and just kind of, at least maybe I'll get to look at what the seals look like that normally go in there. So I'm leaving that for now because I'm basically knocking my head against a brick wall, trying all these different types of pullers and things like that, and nothing is really quite working, so never mind. Instead, I'm going to do all of the brakes on the Volvo while I can. So this is the old one. The main culprit on these brakes are these cylinders here, which end up leaking, and then they no longer hold any kind of brake fluid, and then the calipers seize, which is what's happened on all of these wheels. So I've got brand new calipers, brand new springs, and a new adjusting kit as well. All of this came from a place called Paddock Spares in the UK. All the exact same parts from a Land Rover Series 2, I believe. So that was quite easy to source those. So I've cleaned this up with degreaser and water, get the hub a bit cleaner, so I can put the calipers back here. I wouldn't mind spraying a little bit of anti-rust first and painting that so that it doesn't rust away, but I just wonder if I'm just kind of chasing my own tail with that, because the paint won't hold real great anyway, and yeah, we'll see. So then we've also got the hub, which needs a good going over. So I bought a couple of, like a flapper disc, things like that, that go on a drill, so I can clean that right up and get that surface looking a whole lot better. So bear with me, I'm going to try and do that. Once I've got that wheel sort of sorted, I'll start pulling the others off and I can show properly how to do the drum brakes and kind of go from there. Okay, so I've successfully done one brake. So that looks a fair bit better than it did. Took me ages because I've got these new springs. They were actually all slightly too long on the hook part. So I ended up finding a grinding wheel and grinding those all down, and then I can make it work a bit better. But it's a really annoying job because everything's sprung. You've really got to be putting heaps of force in, and it's been busting my hands up, but got there. And now I've decided to take the whole shaft out and the rest of the portal housing. And on the way, I've busted my fingers so bad. There was so much blood. So yeah, she's giving me a hard time at the moment, but hopefully she'll get used to me soon and realize that I'm trying to breathe some new life into her. So let's pull this off. have it. Looks pretty clean in there. Some very old looking oil, but doesn't look like it's got any water in there, which is a good sign. I haven't actually drained the diff yet, but because it's jacked up a little bit, not too much should drain out. Yeah, it's great. All the splines on everything so far that I'm pulling out is looking really good, which is great to see. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so I can't find out about these seals for everything for at least, a few days, at least until next week. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pull off all the other tyres, if I've got time over the next few days, and do all the drum brakes at least, then put the wheels back on. At least then I'm kind of moving along and doing stuff that really does need to be done. Arguably the brakes is the most important thing right now. So yeah, I'll pull this wheel off. I've gotten a bunch of jack stands now, so we've got 2 jack stands. They're 1.5 ton each, so 3 tons total. And the truck only weighs about 3.5 tons, so that's fine for the rear axle. Plus I've got the floor jack still in there. So yeah, at least I can start doing stuff rather than all this disjointed. It's kind of getting frustrating because I'm just not really getting anywhere. I'm learning, but I'm not really getting anywhere. So wheel off time.
All right, wrapping up the week.
Wrapping up the week. What have I done? I feel like I've done a whole lot of nothing, but I guess I'm wrapping my head around a few bits and pieces. I now know where all the seals go per portal axle, so my next objective is to remove the old seals out of the side, and we can see them here. See, we've got an old seal so I need to pull the wear sleeves out, so maybe I'll be able to do it with that or a puller. I don't know, I'll try and work that one out. So I've pulled the second wheel off so far, and I'm going to clean it, which is there. And then I'm going to be putting the brake shoes on. One really annoying thing is I had to redo the drum brake, and I'm not using any special tools, so it's been a bit of a bit hard, I should say. So it turns out there's a leading shoe and a follower shoe, and I had no idea about that. Turns out the leading shoe must be here, and of course the one I did was not, so I had to redo it. At least I know for next time. I've got some more jack stands. I think I'm going to put the whole truck on jack stands so I can do every wheel at once. This wheel here that I pulled off cannot get the brake line out. Completely seized and rusted up. I mean, that's the old wheel cylinder. You can see why the brakes weren't working at all. It may have been in salt water to generate that much rust, which is a shame. Here they are here. And I've got a pinion seal that goes in here, which I've now learned, this is a torsion subframe, so torsion axle, so that whole thing can actually pivot, which I had no idea, so the axles can actually do that. And it's likely that's pretty seized up, so I'm going to work on that point next. I'm probably going to make my own brake lines, because these are so old and crusty, I may as well just redo some copper brake lines, copper nickel brake lines. And then I'm looking at the rubbers underneath, they're all completely stuffed, so I'm going to replace those. They're pretty cheap from Biltema. Bought a 10-ton jack that'll live with the truck, so I can jack that wheel up, start pulling that apart. And that's kind of where I'm at. So next week is going to be, yeah, more wheels. Hopefully I've worked out the seals, and I might even start soda blasting parts of the axles and start maybe painting them black a bit, or maybe even just cleaning it up. But at some point, yeah, I want to remove that body, but I can't until this thing gets registered. So that is really frustrating, because I just can't attack the vehicle as I pull it apart. I actually have to put it all back together again just to get registered, so I can pull it all apart again, which is, yeah, I must admit, really frustrating. It's not a process I thought I would need to do. So I'm seeing stuff that I want to replace. I'm like, oh, should I even replace it now or replace it later? Yeah, tricky, because I've already pulled the brake system apart. That has to be put back together anyway, so anyway, that's us. That's us. Sorry, Ange, I'm rambling.
And there she is, you would have seen in the previous clips.
What a beautiful thing.
On your home on wheels. So that will be as well another project that we've got going at the same time as the Volvo, probably me doing a little bit of Renault series. I'm gonna head to IKEA today to buy a bunch of things for inside. We won't show you quite yet. I think I'll show you that in the next video just to see, yeah, the beautiful 1989
The Fiat
Ducato.
Adriatic. So this is the Adriatic, and the little van thing's the Ducato.
I guess so this is why there's so much going on in the week. There's not just a Volvo, there's finding another car to have like a roundabout car, as well finding somewhere to live, getting SIM cards, like moving to another country as is big challenges that we definitely underestimated. So we'll talk a bit about the process and what we found for first impression of Sweden maybe in the next episode, because yeah, it's very different from Australia. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back in. I hope you enjoyed this first episode.
This should be weekly videos from now on. We should be able to get enough content to continue.
Yeah, no, we're excited
weekly.
to get back into vlogging and creating content. So yeah, thank you so much. If you're new here and you want to see the build, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next week for the walk around.
See ya.
Bye bye.